Good afternoon, Dr. Nagy. This is the capism simulation presentation for Team Andrews. Team Andrews is composed of myself, Julia Angell, JC Arnold, Jeff Arriola, Olivia Arroyo, and Anthony or Robert Acevedo. Just to give you a brief description of our original plan, we decided to go with a broad differentiator strategy. The way we were going to do this is to just provide the best products throughout the industry. We were trying to maintain very high standards and really stick to the specifications that the customers required and exceed those in some portions of the market. Towards the end, we had to kind of back off of that because we were losing so much money that we couldn't keep our heads up. So we decided to drop a couple products, which you'll see throughout the analysis. So moving into the strategic analysis for round one, right off the bat under the financial system or in the financial portion of the balance scorecard, you can see that we had 0 points for profit. We weren't profitable. We had our sales projection was way off from what our sales actually were, and this caused us to, moving into the internal business processes, this caused us to have an awful contribution margin because we made way more products than we sold, and also led to inventory carrying costs maxing out. These inventory carrying costs actually caused us to get an emergency loan, a pretty substantial emergency loan first round, which set us back quite a bit from our competitors. Moving to the customer portion, customer awareness and customer accessibility is our biggest downfall here. We believe that the reason we lost so many points on that is because we put so much money into automation. We were trying to automate a couple of our products very quickly so that we would become more efficient, but where we cut money back was in the marketing portion of our expenses. And so due to us cutting money back in the marketing, we did not make as many sales as we wish we had, which in turn led to us having an inventory carrying cost that was extremely high and taking out an emergency loan. Here's the decisions for round one. For performance and size for all of the products, we decided to go with the specifications on this one. Price, we were trying to match roughly what the rest of the people were doing. We were not trying to undercut ourselves, but we also were trying to overcut. Biggest thing, you can see the automation for the next round is 6.0 and a 5.0 for Able and Acre. We were really trying to just gain a substantial foothold in that market by creating a internal business process that could just outbeat our competitors. However, to do that, you need sales, and although we did take out an emergency loan for this, it didn't shoot us in the foot too bad because we were able to use that automation throughout the rest of the simulation, and Acre became one of the lead sellers in Acre for I would say the majority of the rounds. Julia's gonna go ahead and cover rounds 2 and 3.
In round 2, our stock price fell quite a bit. In round 1, it was $18.56. In round 2, it fell to $3.80. Also, our stock out cost increased this round. We increased our promo budgets and our sales budgets on Able, Adam, Apt, and Agape, and this helped out in both the customer awareness and the customer accessibility this round. We decided to increase our performance on Adam, Apt, and Agape, and we lowered our size on Adam and Agape. We increased our price on Able, and we lowered our price on Acre in hopes of selling a little bit more this round. We also took out short-term debt and bond issue, so we didn't get into the same situation having to take out an emergency loan. In round 3, our stock price fell again. It fell all the way to $1. Our stock out cost also increased this round. Our customer awareness and our customer accessibility both increased this round because we increased all of our promo budgets and our sales budgets on all 5 products. Our employee productivity also increased this round since we put more money into recruiting spending and training hours. We increased our performance on Able, Apt, and Agape, and we lowered our size on Able, Apt, and Agape. We decided to raise our price on all 5 products in hopes of getting a little bit more revenue in. We also retired some of that bond stock that we took out last round. We also issued stock here. JC will give the review of rounds 4 and 5.
Hello, my name is JC Arnold. I will be discussing the 4th and 5th years of operation of the Andrews Company. In the 4th year, we saw $134.9 million in sales, which is a $15 million increase from previous years. However, this did not give us the profits that we were wanting due to the necessity of paying back a $28.9 million emergency loan from the previous year. We did try to attract more business by increasing the amount of time on our accounts receivable to 60 days. We also were steadily increasing the performance and decreasing the size of our products to keep up with the growing demand from the market. We noticed that our high-end product was not doing as well as it could have done due to the competition in the market. Other companies were able to easily outdo us. Instead of trying to compete with them in one particular field, we decided to actually decrease our capacity and concentrate more on other areas of the business. Our promotional and our sales budgets did fluctuate, trying to find that right balance to increase awareness and demand in the market. Unfortunately, there is not a Reddit out there to give us instructions step by step on how to do this. The business of any kind actually changes from day to day, week to week, month to month, and year to year, and it's something that's ever evolving. In our 5th year, we only saw sales of $116.7 million, which was an $18 million decrease from the previous year. Because of the lack of sales, we had increased inventory costs from the product that was not sold. We also noticed that we still were not selling anything of the high-end product, and despite keeping up with the actual product by increasing its performance or decreasing its size, we simply chose to continue to decrease the capacity for our high-end product, saving that money for other areas of the company. We did invest more money into TQM in expectation of improving our cost reductions in labor, material, administration, and in research and development, along with increasing the demand for our products. Unfortunately, due to the lack of sales and the increase investing into the company, we did wind up taking out a $36.6 emergency loan for the 5th year. Robert will now discuss how our company did in the 6th and 7th year of operation.
Thank you, JC, for the intro. And my name is Robert Acevedo, and I'll go ahead and get us started through the strategic analysis for round 6 and 7. So for the financial side of round 6, we really didn't see any improvements considering the emergency loan that we had to take out in round 5. So our stock price remained unchanged and fell at $1. Our profits were actually in the negative, and we really didn't see any improvements for our profits for this round. And then also our leverage, we also had no leverage, which did not help us in this round whatsoever, considering that we did have the lowest market share in this round. Now, in internal business section, our contribution margin slightly increased, but it was not at a perfect level since we didn't have to produce as much products. And we also eliminated 2 of our products this round. So this made us not overproduce what we needed to sell. So we're actually able to sell more products and focus on the sales of just 3. So selling more products and actually being produced actually helped our margins a lot on this round. Plant utilization this round also decreased significantly since we did get rid of automation for 2 of our products and also did not produce any of the products that we also cut to as well. So we're really just focusing on the low-end segment, traditional segment, and also performance segment. Since we did sell out of our 3 products that we did produce, this also made our stock out cost to go at 0. But on the bright side, it did also cut our inventory carrying costs to near a perfect score since we didn't clear out our inventory and sell all the products that we did produce. Now, our customer buying criteria and also our customer awareness was something to highlight this round, considering that our traditional segment also performed probably one of the top performers in this round. Now, our learning and growth section, we really didn't make any too many changes to that. Learning and growth has always been pretty consistent because we put the equal amount of TQM and also for HR. So for the next slide, we did incur a $10 million debt, so that way we can relieve some of the emergency loan that we had out there. So that we can also attribute that to any long-term debt that we also did have too as well. But it was really important for us to take out the short-term debt to get us out of the emergency loan, build capital, so that way we could produce more in the later rounds too as well. And one of our biggest takeaways this round was that despite selling less of our products than the previous round, the elimination of Atom and Agape allowed us to cut costs, our margins, and marketing budget, resulting us to be more profitable in round 6. Although our profits are not in the ideal range, it still got us out of a little bit of the weeds that we were in level 5. Round 5, sorry. But moving on to round 7. Round 7, we really didn't see that much improvements in the financial side, just a little bit for our profits, since we're actually able to kind of, get some more cash on hand to get us out of that emergency loan. Stock price was still at $1, and our leverage was not completely, ruined. Actually, our market share actually increased. We were no longer last; we were second to last. So that was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for us this round. The internal business process side, our contribution margins were actually increasing more than round 6. And that's just because we were producing more now that we had more capital. And we were also able to sell more products that we did have on hand. And because we were producing more, our plant utilization was also able to increase. Even though we did get rid of 2 products, just like we did in round 6, we still focused on the traditional low-end segment and also performance segment. So we were actually producing a lot more and expecting more sales. So that's what caused our plant utilization to go up. Stock out cost also remains at 0, just because we stock out in all our products since we're really focusing on driving sales. But our inventory carrying cost was at a perfect score because of our stock out. So we didn't have to hit any carrying costs accumulated this round. Our customer side of round 7 remained the same. Customer buying criteria still met ideal customer expectations, and same for our customer awareness because of how much we put into our promo budget. So we expected more sales this round because we were producing more, and we consistently kept our promo budget high so that we can receive sales. And our learning and growth path, or a section on this, was relatively the same, considering that we put the same amount of money when it comes to TQM and HR. If it's a $5 million difference, it's really not that much of a change to make any significant impact. One of the things to highlight this round on the next slide is that we did retire 108 of our stocks, considering that our stock price is being so low. And then we also have so much stocks out there too as well. But other than that, everything pretty much stayed the same as round 6, other than increasing our production to focus on sales. But I'll go ahead and hand you guys off to Olivia, so that way she can go over round 8 for you guys.
All right, I will be going over round 8 of our simulation, which is the last round. So here we have our total points for the round. Obviously, our financial side doesn't look too good. We did have to stop producing 2 of our products, Atom and Agape. So we were running out of money towards the end too. We didn't really have enough, so we couldn't focus on our products. That's also the reason why we had to get rid of 2 of them. But it also you can see that it affected like our customer accessibility. So like obviously that ratio is pretty low compared to where we wanted it to be. But we did decide to spend more of our money on things like employee training, and under the learning and growth ratios, we can see that things like employee productivity were at a maximum. The employee turnover rate was pretty good. And then under TQM, those are actually not as bad either. So for the products, there wasn't really much we could do, like I said earlier. So we didn't really do many changes here. Pretty sure we left the prices the same. But for the performance and the size, we changed them a little. I don't think it really did much. Since it was the last round, there wasn't much for us to do. But that's pretty much it for round 8. And now Jeff will be wrapping everything up and telling us how we did in comparison to the rest of the teams in the simulation.
And so we're here, just going to finish up this last slide here to kind of put a tie on, to tie it all together, what my group has talked about at the end of all the other rounds. Obviously, we didn't get the results that we wanted to. We are a very competitive group as a whole, and obviously want to be number one. By the numbers, we didn't do that. The brightest thing that I think we'd say, we got our stock price up when it was $1 from the end, at that end part of the rounds. And our numbers, they're not the best, but what's the best thing out of that we got out of it was the lessons of how different portions of the industry interact and are able to counterbalance and change different sections of how you handle things, or decisions that you made in one department will affect the others. And I think as a whole, as a group, that we can say that between those lessons, we'll take that from when we graduate SFA, and when we go out into the real workforce, we'll really start to understand how the real life is, how, the marketing section is going to affect the, production R&D section, or, a bad forecast. Like, we've had multiple bad forecasts which led us to go astray, and you can see it here in these numbers. And, those are the lessons that really matter. And, these other teams, they did great, shout out to Team Ferris and everything along those lines. But, as a whole, I think we did what the assignment was to learn about it. And I think we got a lot of valuable lessons, every single one of us, as a whole. So thank you, Dr. Nagy, for the opportunity to do this project and do the CAPSIM. And thank you for the semester and teaching us a lot of valuable lessons. So that's all I got here. And, thank you for all the teammates as a whole, coming together, and really appreciate every single one of y'all. So, have a good rest of your summer.